When Kia first came to the US in 1995, they showed up with the Sportage. That was actually built by Mazda, and now this is the 2017 Sportage. I bet they never imagined it would amount to this. They've sold over 700,000 of these. It's now in its 4th generation, and it's a vehicle that a lot of people put it on their shopping list because today crossovers are outselling sedans. All right, we got to talk about styling because a lot of people love the new styling of the Sportage and some people don't. As you can see, it's very aggressive. You have the signature Kia grille. You have all new lighting. Some people say this looks a lot like a Porsche. Maybe, why not? A lot of German influence in this vehicle. You have these optional quad fog lights over here, a whole new grille. It's lower. The whole vehicle is wider. It's actually the widest vehicle in the segment. The wheelbase is longer. Overall length is almost 2 inches longer, so it's a much bigger vehicle. Not only is it bigger on the outside, it's also bigger on the inside. A lot more room, more headroom, more legroom, more hip room. This vehicle just feels a lot bigger. As far as the styling goes, it's kind of a love it or leave it. It's starting to grow on me. I really like this burnished copper color. So if you want to stand out from the crowd, and it's a very crowded field with vehicles like the CR-V and RAV4 and Ford Escape, just to name a few, you could do that with color and with style. The Sportage is available with 2 engine options. The base models like the LX are going to get the 2.4 liter normally aspirated. It produces 181 horsepower and gets a combined 26 miles per gallon. What we've been driving is a 240 horsepower 2 liter turbo, and that gets a combined 23 miles per gallon. Both are mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission that's been reprogrammed for this Sportage, available in front-wheel drive, or for an extra $1,500 you can get the all-wheel drive. What's missing with the Sportage offering is the 1.6 liter turbo that is available in the Tucson, which is the sister vehicle to this, and that has a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. That's kind of the high mileage vehicle in the segment, and unfortunately is not available in the Sportage. But then again, with gas prices so cheap right now, who needs it? As the Sportage is driving away from you, you're going to notice it's got an all-new rear end, a more aggressive bumper. You have new LED taillights. But the real reason people buy crossovers is because they want utility, and the Sportage has plenty of it. So you have 18% more cargo room than the outgoing model. But what's really neat is this dual floor height. So right now we have it lower. You can actually adjust it by about 3 inches. So you have the standard and you have the lower height available if you have something taller back here. It's pretty neat technology. And of course, this is the SX model, so you're going to have a power liftgate. Pricing for the 2017 Sportage starts at $22,990 for the LX, $25,500 for the EX, and $32,500 for the SX front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive will add $1,500 to each of these. We had a very healthy drive today in the 2017 4th generation Sportage. Very refined vehicle. One thing we noticed is just how quiet it was, even at speeds of 80, 90 miles an hour. Extremely quiet, very refined. They did a really nice job there. The interior has been completely redone. You have a much larger infotainment screen, a new multi-information display between the gauges, steering wheel, and all your HVAC controls. Everything has been updated with higher quality, softer touch buttons, and it definitely shows. So all the things that are kind of important to buyers in this segment, I think Kia really nailed. They mentioned that the seats were new and we found them extremely comfortable. We were on some pretty challenging roads most of the day, roads that most people probably aren't going to drive on a daily basis, maybe not even ever. But nevertheless, you know, the Sportage handled. The front-wheel drive was definitely not as stable as the all-wheel drive. You do have a much stiffer chassis. Now has 51% high-strength steel, as well as much more use of high-strength adhesives. So a lot of refinements in this vehicle, especially a vehicle of this price point. We drove the SX all day, and it probably will only represent about 15 to 20% of the market. We didn't get to drive the 2.4 liter normally aspirated, and that's the one that is going to represent the majority of sales. So we'll look forward to testing that one. Our fuel economy was supposed to average a combined 23. We only got a little over 18. Again, that was due to the aggressive nature of the roads, and we also drove at some higher speeds. Nevertheless, it's respectable compared to the segment. There is an all-new all-wheel drive system made by Magna, and even though we didn't really get to test it today, it's considered an intuitive, intelligent all-wheel drive system. It's constantly looking for slippage in the road, changing conditions, and will adjust up to 100% of the power to the front or 100% in the back or anything in between. So it's constantly working. Technology is a top consideration factor for most people looking for compact crossovers. And now the 2017 Sportage comes with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Simply plug it in and you're good to go. I really like that kind of technology. It's going to make things much easier and safer for drivers because, let's face it, we all know you're going to use your smartphones. So even though this vehicle did get a lot stiffer, it still doesn't feel as stiff or as much of a driver's car as the Mazda CX-5 and maybe the Ford Escape, but if you look at the rest of the competition, it feels much better than the CR-V or the RAV4. Overall, Kia did a nice job. The styling is a little bit questionable for some people. It really has grown on me. The rear is great. The front is a little aggressive. And a lot of people in this segment don't like aggressive styling, but it's worked for Jeep with the Cherokee. It has a very aggressive front end, so maybe it'll work for Kia as well. Kia is definitely a brand on the rise. When you look at their brand equity worldwide, it just keeps going up. They just had a record sales year, and glad to see now the oldest vehicle in their fleet, the Sportage, is now their newest vehicle. I like the changes. I like the styling, especially from the rear three quarters. And when you look at the segment, vehicles like the CR-V, Escape, and RAV4, they're looking kind of dated compared to this. This vehicle was designed in Germany under the guidance of Peter Schreier. He used to be the chief designer for Audi. He's been over here at Kia now for several years, and you can really see the fruit of his labor. Anyway, I like this vehicle, definitely a top recommendation. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ron Dorn. We'll see you next time on The Driver's Seat.